your words are very, very powerful. And what you say to yourself, about your life, is what's going to happen. And this is why you also have to be careful. Another point is be careful about who is speaking over your life. Because sometimes someone can just be like, oh my God, you're so poor. Oh my God, you're doing immediately someone says that, you don't have to of course say it to their face, but you're actually just be like, oh, I'm very rich, I'm not, I'm very rich, or just speak the opposite into your life. If someone is saying something negative, then you speak positive immediately, because it's not a thing of like trying to be I'm being too much or anything like that, or overthinking. It's not that. It's because sometimes, not even sometimes, most of the times, your subconscious tend to like register things that someone is constantly telling you. And that's why they always say your environment is very important. Because if you're surrounded by people who all they do is speak negatively into your life, of course, the first time you might be able to ignore it and be like, no, that's not my truth. That's not my projection. I do not accept that. But as time goes on over the years, your brain will start to believe stuff like that, because that's what you're feeding yourself. That's what your brain is receiving every single time. And I don't know if you guys know about subliminals. Basically, subliminals are like um they basically as under the you can't hear them, but your subconscious can hear them. So it's like if someone is constantly saying positive stuff, like behind the scenes, like even though you're not constantly in front of that person, but you're in that surrounding, your brain will still register it. So if you go online, if you go on YouTube and you look for positive subliminals, like success subliminals, it's basically saying positive stuff to you, but it's only your subconscious that can hear it, if you get what I'm saying. But yeah, so it's like you do have to be careful about what you say to yourself. And this is why affirmations, you need to keep saying affirmations to yourself. If something is not going well, say affirmations, speak over, like speak up for yourself. And I think this is one thing I've realized. Sometimes you think that, oh, I can just think it in my head, I can just like, that would do. And I used to, and I'm a Gemini, so I do overthink sometimes, not sometimes, I do overthink. Like if something small happens, trust me, I'm thinking, like I've taken it 10 times. I've taken it 10 times far, because I just tend to overthink. But the point I'm trying to make is that sometimes you think that, oh, you just thinking positively is enough. Of course, you thinking positively is great, it's amazing. But when you actually speak it up, like speak up for yourself, like maybe when you wake up in the morning, religious people will call it praying, but affirmation, I feel like affirmation is different. Affirmations are different from prayers, because when it comes to prayers, it feels like sometimes you can call it prayers or affirmations, ro- um whatever rolls your boat. Is that the is that the word? Is that the sentence? But whatever works for you, because I do feel like when it comes to prayers, it feels like you're begging for something, like, oh, please, can I have this? But when you're speaking affirmations, you're saying this is what's going to happen. This is the blessing you're speaking it like it's happening. So it's like, oh, I'm blessed, I am successful, those stuff. Like when you're saying stuff like that, in the beginning, you might not believe it, or your brain might not believe it. But when you constantly say stuff like that with intentions, you will start to see those things happening in your life. But if you're waking up and the first thing you're saying to yourself is that, oh, you're so dumb or stuff like that. If you guys notice, I'm not saying I am, because that is not my truth. But I don't want to overthink it, but you get the point I'm trying to make. Like, you don't want to wake up in the morning and the first thing you're telling yourself is that you're dumb, or you're stupid, or you're not smart. Like, of course, that's what's going to keep happening. That's what you start noticing about yourself. Because if you're bringing yourself down first, the world is already. We live in a world where people are mean. A lot of people are mean, but we do still have good people. But what I'm trying to say is that this. What I'm trying to say is that some people will not hesitate to bring you down just by them saying stuff. Like they will just speak negatively over your life, and they just will not care. Like they will go about their life. So you don't want to be the first person to do that to yourself. Like there's this saying that people always like, there's this saying, I don't know where I heard it from, but like, you don't want to be the one to betray yourself, where like you don't want to be the first person to betray you, if you get what I'm saying. That's the saying I'm trying to, yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. So it's like, you don't want to be the first person to be saying, speaking negatively to yourself. You get what I'm saying? You should be the first person supporting you to, like, you should be the one up, is it, yeah, you should be the one uplifting yourself and not bringing yourself down. Because if you don't even do that, if you're not uplifting yourself and encouraging yourself, then it will be so hard for someone else to encourage you. I'm telling you, like, even if someone else is trying to encourage you or uplift you, you won't want to listen, because at the end of the day, in your head, you've made a decision about yourself that, you're not good enough, or you're not this and you're not that. So if someone is trying to convince you, like, it might even, it will take you longer, and you might not even believe it. Something you need to realize is that life will bend to your will, to the things you want to see. And if you've noticed, like, there's this thing where people be like, oh, if you notice a yellow car, or if you notice a specific type of color, or a specific car, you will tend to see it more often. That's the way your brain works. So if you made a decision that, oh, I'm very successful, or things work in my favor, then you just start to see things working in your favor. Your brain will start to notice little things working in your favor. Then, of course, you will focus your energy on it, and then it will just expand. And that's how things work out. And then you're teaching your brain now, automatically teaching your brain that, oh my God, something worked out for me last time. So that means it will work out for me now. So you're kind of training your brain to believe that it's possible for you to have the things you want and for things to work out in your favor. So it's like, when you're not training your brain, when you're not telling your brain these things that, like, you're great, things are working in your favor, things are happening for you, then what's your brain meant to, like, learn? If you can't say, if you're not teaching your brain these things, or telling your brain who you are, then your brain will basically just attach itself to what other people are telling you. And I think this is where people, like, tend to lose themselves. You get what I'm saying? Because they themselves, they've not decided on who they want to be or who they are. So of course, when someone tells them that, oh, you're this, you're that, they just start to believe it, because they've not created a specific identity for themselves. They've not found out who they are to begin with. So it's like, of course, if someone tells you that, oh, you're not smart, you're never going to make it, then of course you start to believe that, because you've not made that decision. You've not realized your power and who you actually are. So of course you're going to believe what someone else tells you. And which is why it's important for you to always speak positively about your life, speak positively over the situation, like any situation you're going through. So let's just say you want a job, and you've been applying and you've been interviewing for months or years or whatever. You don't Of course, don't get me wrong, I'm speaking from it. I'll be honest, like, you know, you will have times when you're just doubting and you're in fear, and but that just shouldn't stop you from still believing that it's going to work out. This I always feel like, okay, yeah, I'm human, of course I'll have my fears and doubts. Like, it's normal when things are not happening the way you want them to happen yet. Of course you're going to think, sometimes you have those negative thoughts, and that's okay. But I think it's about also making the decision to come back and be like, okay, yes, fair enough, I'm not feeling great about this situation, or I'm not really thinking positively about it, but I do know it will work out regardless. I don't know how, but it will still work out. And I think that's just the mentality you just have to carry with yourself. Because I'm not going to lie to you, and I'm just not going to sit here and tell you that, oh yeah, like, we always should be thinking positively, because that's just not, possible. You have times when your brain will just be thinking, oh, is it gonna work out, how is it gonna work? It's up to you to redirect your mind, and redirect the thoughts that you're having to that positive thoughts, and just have that, even if it's just simple, um small faith or hope in that situation. That's enough. For Because when you have, like, just a small bit of hope about a certain situation, that pushes you to not give up. You get what I'm saying? And that's why they always say, like, hope, is it hope? Sorry, I have H factor, guys, but hope is a very important thing, because when you have that small hope, you just want to keep going, because it feels like there's something you're fighting for. You see, like, that small light at the end of the tunnel. You might not see everything yet, you might not understand what's going on, but just that belief that it will work out just pushes you. You know what I'm saying? Have you seen people when, like, is it I think this is the bad maybe in a this is a bad example, but, like, let's just say in a horror movie, like, someone is chasing, like, okay, let me not use that example, but if you're, like, in a situation where your adrenaline kicks in, you might be so tired, but because you're so scared, and you feel like you need to fight for your life, you basically automatically just start to run, even if you're tired. Like, you just have this strength from nowhere. And I think that's the same thing as, when you're going through stuff in life, and if you just have that little hope, it makes you just keep going automatically. I don't know how it works, but I feel like That's what I've noticed. Like when you just have that small bit of hope, it feels like the energy just shifts and you just feel like, okay, I can't give up. I have something to achieve, you know. I just have to get to this specific goal or achieve this goal. But the point I'm trying to make is that, like, I will advise you as someone, this is from experience. Whenever I come here to advise you guys, I'm not coming here to advise you from a place of not knowing what I'm talking about. This is something I've experienced in my life. And I'm telling you this because I have seen proper improvement and proper progress from actually speaking positively into your life. Like, see as you standing up for what you want in life. Like, you're not just going to sit back and let life pass you by, all in the name of, oh, I don't know, like, I don't know what's going to happen. But when you constantly speak those positive things, like if you want something, you speak that is happening for you, it's going to work out. Like if you constantly just continuously believe, at the beginning you might not see the progress yet, but as time goes on, you will literally see progress. Like, you start to see things change. At the beginning, things might not change. Now, don't let me say things might not change. It depends anyway. Sometimes it does happen quickly, and sometimes it might take a bit of time for your brain to register what's going on and for your brain to believe it. Like it's just a constant learning curve, especially when it comes to your brain. For it to believe that you deserve something or you deserve to have the life that you want. But yeah, so my advice that I'll give you is like for the next, like, just next week, just give it a shot. Like everything, even if things are not going well, just positively say that it is working out. It is working no matter what. It's working out because at the end of the day, like it has no choice but to work out. You just have to have that like belief that this has to work out because you deserve for it to work out. Like, and even let's just forget about deserving because you want it to work out. So it should work out. You get what I'm saying? Of course, life sometimes doesn't always go the way we plan, but you have to have the belief that even though it's not going the way you plan it, it's still going to work out, because at the end of the day, like I think when it comes to people, we humans, we do want to know every single step of how something is going to turn out or how something is going to happen. But that's you kind of um robbing yourself of like life surprising you or miracles happening. Because at the end I'm speaking to myself, if I'm being honest. I think sometimes when you know every single thing, every single way or how things is going to happen, it might not be as exciting as when it actually happens in a surprising way. So I do feel like your job is just to speak positively, take the actions that's needed, and just leave the rest to the universe. Honestly, I do feel like the universe has a way of making things work in the way that we might not understand it. Like there's this example I will leave with you guys before I close the video, and it will be a thing of the advice is, like when you're going on a journey, let's just say you're using Google Maps to get to where you're going, and you miss the what's it called, the direction that Google Map is telling you. Have you noticed that even when you miss that direction, the Google Maps basically re-navigates you by finding another route to help you get to where you need to go to. And the point I'm trying to make is that, like, even if you don't understand where you're going and you feel like you got lost, you will still find your way back to where you're meant to be and the direction and the goal. As long as you have the goal in mind, like you will find your way there. And you also have to trust yourself that you will get to where you need to get to, regardless of what's happening, because you'll meet people on the way that will basically help you with directions. Like if you ever get lost, you're going to a specific place, you know where you're going to. So even if you get lost, you'll meet people on the way that will basically point you in the right direction, even if Google Maps fails you. Figure what I'm saying? But because you already had in mind that this is where I'm going to this destination. So of course you will make it there regardless whether it's true, regardless, even if it's true, taking the bus, taking the Uber, meeting someone that will tell you the direction. So the point I'm trying to make is that as long as you have the goal in mind, you have the vision, you just need to speak up for what you want, speak positively, take actions, and just trust the universe in the path that you're being taken to, even if you don't understand the routes and even if you feel like you're getting lost, you'll be redirected to where you need to go to. But that is all I have for you guys. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week, and I hope you guys take on the advice and speak more positively into your life, and don't be around people who just want to speak negatively into your life, who just want to be negative Nancy. Of course, everyone is going through stuff in their life, but that doesn't mean you should be around people who are constantly speaking down on you as well. So just remember that, and just remember to take care of yourself this week, and don't forget about your goals and your dreams, regardless of what's going on around you or what you're doing. But that is all for today, and I hope you guys have a great week, and I'll speak to you guys soon.